Right, hey friends, Kirsten here with Whole Life Freedom, Holistic Health Coach. Hope you guys are doing well, and I really do hope that this holiday season that you are finding ways to experience joy and experience peace in the midst of all that's been happening in 2020 as we round out the year and have really all learned new ways of coping with stress, new ways of looking at life and experiencing life in completely new ways. I know that I have. I have had to reintroduce many old skills, many new skills, and really come in and go, what do I believe and how am I doing? I have to ask the question regularly, how am I doing? I'm used to asking others how they're doing, but it's so important to ask yourself, how are you doing? So even while you're sitting here right now listening to this, whether you're running or listening or walking or doing the chores, however you're listening, take a moment and just ask, how am I doing? And just listen in to what comes up for you. Is it good things? Are you doing really well? Or is there a struggle happening that you might want to address and bring to the surface and not let the quickness of life in this season take you by too quickly? There's a lot of quickness happening apparently. All right, well, here we go. Today I wanted to share a little bit with you about using our words in a way that can actually transform our health, transform the direction that we go, invite transformation through the way that we speak. So we know that we are renewed by the renewing, we're transformed by the renewing of our mind. What we believe is how we live out our lives. How we think is really powerful, but we also listen to how we speak. And I mentioned this a little while back about renewing our minds, that we want to use our words with intention. And this is where today we're going to go into why is it important to listen to our words, to use our words with intention, but also how you can do this on a regular basis, maybe a part of your morning routine or your evening routine, as we went over a couple weeks ago. If you haven't checked that one out, wholelifefreedom.com/mornings. Download a workbook and start your morning and evening routine so that you can really set your body, set your mind, your spirit up for success, and see transformation happen in your life. All right, going back to the words, but you can use your words to either start to create pain and keep that pattern of pain going, or you can actually use your words to completely transform the way your body responds to things, the way that your mind, your spirit responds. And I loved this study from many years ago. Many of you might have seen it already, but there was a study by quantum physics that they started studying the sound of different sounds, music, instruments, and the sound of your voice. And they started finding out that the human voice is one of the most powerful sounds in the universe. And if that's not, pretty impactful, that makes you wonder, what am I saying and how is that impacting me? And one that became really famous was the scientists studying the way that they spoke over water. And they would speak over water different things. So one received words of love and I love you and you're accepted and you're full of life. And another one, words that were like, I hate you and you're bad and you're evil, and even just things that we think to ourselves. I think if many people would actually pause and listen to the way that they spoke to themselves internally, they'd be pretty surprised. You wouldn't usually let a friend of yours speak to someone else, to another friend, the way that you speak to yourself inside. Sometimes it's so hidden and so repeated that we don't even recognize it anymore. So this is how we can start to rewire our brain and retrain ourselves, but we also get to speak life. And so they did this study that they spoke love over one group of water, they spoke words of hate over another, and they left another neutral. And again, you've probably heard this study before, but it was really amazing. When they came back to the water, they studied the molecules of the water, and the one with love had crystallized and was this beautiful, purified molecules, and the pieces of the water, when they went into depth in them, were really beautiful and beautified. And they went into the water that had been spoken words of hate and even just unkind words, and it had completely rotted, and there was it was definitely deteriorating. And then the neutral one, it didn't look so good, but it was kind of, not glistening, not growing, but it wasn't necessarily thriving, and it wasn't deteriorating. So anyways, one of the quotes from one of those studies was that the vibration of good words has a positive effect on our world, whereas the vibration from negative words has the power to destroy. Whoa. Let's just pause on that for a minute. That's a really powerful thinking. I mean, we know that negative thoughts shoot negative chemicals into our bodies. But words, what's really interesting about words is that there's a lot attached to your words. There's the sound, so the physical sound we know creates physical waves in the air, and that those sounds actually affect your body. We also know, though, that your own ears hear your own voice. So your thoughts kind of remain inside. They're kind of hidden from the world. You hear them going on and on and on, depending on how loud your thoughts are. But your words, when they're said out loud, they're creating multiple facets. You have intentions and you have things that are connected to them. So there's actual meaning connected to them. So when that meaning comes out, your body responds emotionally to how you meant it to come out. So that releases a set of chemicals as well. But your brain and your ears now are hearing it out loud. And so you're responding to words that you're saying out loud. And as you say it, your heart begins to agree with it. Okay? And so if it's good, your body then can respond in a good way. If it's not good, your body starts to respond, releasing stress chemicals. But now take that water study, and there have been many others since. But if your body is, they estimate your body is anywhere between 60% and 80% water. We know that every single cell in our body has and contains primarily water. So if we know that water responds to the human voice, how's your body responding to the way that you're speaking? Now, this isn't some woo-woo stuff or anything, even scripture says that God spoke and we were created. We have the power to create words, to create things with our words. Quantum physics comes in line with that. So we go, wow, we've got many religions, we've got God, we've got science, all of them confirming, hey, your words have a lot of power. Your health can actually be transformed by how you think and how you speak. So how are you doing? Do you declare when you go to bed, oh, I'm going to wake up with so much energy? Or do you say regularly, I'm not a morning person? I know I used to. I don't anymore, but those are some things to ask, some things to kind of go, how am I actually speaking? Am I speaking things that are allowing life to breathe in my body, in my world? Am I speaking life around my friends, about my situations, all of that? Okay, so we've got a little bit of background. Now, how do you do this? One of the first steps is just to simply become aware. Some of us have become so ingrained in speaking negatively or even speaking limits over our own lives that we don't even recognize it anymore. I know with my own life, I had to kind of recognize it and see it happening. And then I didn't know how to change it at first, but I noticed that with people I coach. I noticed that a lot of times it's so ingrained in there, it doesn't even seem negative. You don't feel the difference. You're not even noticing the shift or the change. So become aware of your words. Are they breathing life? Are they breathing limitations and negative things in your life? Or are they even just neutral? They're neither here nor there. And so become aware of that. Listen to how you speak. One thing that I like to encourage is do a 7-day challenge and just listen to your words over the course of 1 week. Don't try to change anything. Don't try to do anything. Just listen. Pay attention to it. And then as you're paying attention to your own words, start paying attention to the way other people are speaking. And don't just pay attention, but go, how does that make me feel when they speak that way about themselves and when they speak that way about other people or about situations in their life, about their health, about how they feel, about their job and finances? Does it make you feel good inside? So now you're suddenly aware of how the words are making you feel. Now you can start to actually change them, because you don't want to feel that way, but you don't recognize that you're not feeling it unless you start to actually listen and tune in. So it's that awareness, kind of listening, paying attention. All right, so then we want to actually just address, what do I believe about my words? Do I believe that they have power to change? Because really doing a habit or inviting a new habit into your life doesn't really do a whole lot unless you start believing that it's going to work. Now, I would say I've heard many, many times that your words have power for over 10 years, maybe 20 years. And it really took intentionality and closing my eyes, choosing to believe that my words have power, and choosing to start making some different choices with them. And when I did, I really saw a lot of change, really started to see some rapid growth. And I started doing it in one area at a time. And so, okay, now that you've heard your words, how can you start to build that into your life? Well, one of the ways that I love doing this is through adding it into a routine. So I love the concept of habit stacking, and what that simply means is when you habit stack, think of it like stacking a stack of books one on top of the other. You take some mini habits, like when I wake up in the morning, so when my alarm goes off, I get out of bed, I go to the restroom, I wash my face and my teeth, then I have a big glass of water with lemon in it. After I've had my glass of water with lemon, I start doing some declarations. I've just filled myself up, and now I'm going to start declaring. So it's kind of a way of putting it into your routine. Now, I've kind of adjusted where they go all throughout my morning or my evening or throughout my day. But I've found that to really start doing, whether you like to call them affirmations or declarations, I like both because they have two different meanings to me. One is declaring things coming into your life, and the other, that's so declarations, obviously, but then affirmations are statements about who you are as a person. You know, are you declaring that you are an overcomer, or are you declaring that you're a victim with your words? And then are you declaring breakthrough in areas of your life, or are you declaring that you're not going to have breakthrough? Often we're doing one or the other. So one of the things I like to recommend is first starting with someone else's declarations and affirmations to start to get that language in your body, to start to get that language coming out of your mouth, to start to experience how it feels inside your body, to hear it so that your brain, the neural networks in your brain begin to realign, neuroplasticity. They start to realign so that you now actually have heard these words come out of your mouth. You know them. You start to say them regularly, and now they're becoming familiar. And so if you pick a certain area of your life, you pick an area, say health, and you start declaring health and life, and you say, I'm a morning person and I get up and my body feels good and I have energy all throughout the day. I am full of love and I am strong and I am an overcomer. I take good care of myself, body, soul, and spirit. Wow. I can say just saying that as an example, I feel alive and ready to go. These are some examples. How did that even feel to you to hear it? It's really important to start listening in to how do you feel. Even if you're not a feeler, you start to tune into those emotions. Start to tune into how does your brain feel? How does your body feel? How does your spirit feel as you start to speak these words out? Because the more you become tuned into the body, soul, spirit experience of your words, the more you're going to do it. Right? We are creatures who really connect with positive or negative reinforcements. And so where's that word, right? Positive or negative reinforcements. So if we're actually tuning into the positive reinforcement of our words, we're going to do it more often. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense if you keep doing it. So grab a hold of affirmations, grab a hold of declarations that are already out there. I have a whole bunch waiting for you. I have some on my blog. I have some that you can download to get yourself going in that process. Say them on a regular basis. I like to have a whole set in my phone, on my notepad. I've got them for different areas of my life. So when I want to focus on one area, maybe one area is a struggle for me this day, I pull those out and start declaring them over that place. I align my heart and my emotions, my spirit and my mind with the words I'm saying, and I believe in that. I visualize them, right? With the power of our mind and our imagination is very powerful in doing this as you do it with your words. Imagine what's happening to your body, your mind, your spirit, and those circumstances. All right, so use someone else's words until you develop your own. Now, if you'd like to start developing your own, this is where the deeper, very real power starts to come in. And the process that I like to do with this is to take a piece of paper, fold it in half, and on one side, I just start writing down. I take one situation in my life. Maybe it's my health, my finances, a relationship. Maybe it's a dream that I can't quite seem to get into. Maybe it's an area that I really need to overcome. It's an area that I really want to thrive in. All these different places. Okay, I take one area, one situation, one relationship, one place. And write down all the negative thoughts, words, limiting beliefs, barriers, all those things. Write them all down. Just brainstorm them, right? You can't clean a house if you don't know where the dust is. You got to turn on the light. So this isn't about, let me unveil everything wrong about myself. No, this is about cleaning house. We're just going to clean that house out in that area. So you write all those areas down. How do you feel about yourself? A lot of times body issues with health are often so deeply connected to past wounds and thoughts about the body, thoughts about yourself, thoughts about your past and your present and your future. And how are those thoughts being made present to you right now? Are they limiting beliefs? Are they lies? Are they wounds? Write them all out. Take a moment, a few minutes, set a timer, 5 to 10 minutes, and write them all out. Okay, you're not shaming yourself over them, you're just unveiling them, turning on the light so that we can clean house. So now what we're going to do, now that that paper is folded in half, open it up. So on one side you've got these limiting beliefs, these thoughts, these wounds and lies all listed out. Now on the right side, we're going to start creating some empowering beliefs around them. And what I mean by that, say, I'm never going to be enough. Well, an empowering belief or statement would be, I am always enough. Okay, another statement, I feel so weak in every area of my life. Well, are there areas that you have overcome? Are there areas that you've been strong? Write that out. I am an overcomer. I am strong. Start attaching these new empowering beliefs to situations that you actually have overcome. And then it can become real. If you feel like, oh, but it's not real if I just say something positive, it is real. And there are ways that you can go, so you can see every situation in your life, every single situation as either good or bad, and you can choose how do I see this? What's the lens through which I'm looking at this? Okay? And so either you overcame it, what you did, because you're here, you're on the other side, or you are overcoming it because you're coming through it. You haven't given up yet. Right? So you can say, I am an overcomer. Okay, what are areas that you do take care of yourself? If you feel like you don't take care of yourself, what are areas that you do? Start to attach that belief and then write that positive statement out. So on the other side of the list, you're going to have a whole list of new empowering beliefs and statements that you can turn into declarations and affirmations. And so it's going to go directly against the limiting beliefs around that area. And then what you're going to do is start declaring those over yourself morning and night so that your brain, your body, your spirit, your soul can start responding to the words you're now speaking over that area. One step further would be to actually record your own voice into your phone, a tape recorder. Get old school. I know people who have little tape recorders and they record themselves saying these affirmations and declarations and then they just replay it back. Now you can do that on your phone, you can do it on your devices, whatever way makes you the most comfortable. Now play it back to yourself. Put it on repeat. Listen to yourself speaking over yourself. It is so powerful. If you do this, you declare morning and night, even just one or two declarations, morning when you wake up and evening before you go to bed. Throughout the day, listen to some of these that you've written or some of the ones that are pre-written for you so that you can hear your own voice morning, noon, and night declaring over yourself life. I have no doubt that if you do this for 7 days straight, you are going to be a different person. Take it even further and do it for 30 days. What could happen? What could happen if you took 30 days and instead of focusing on some sort of diet plan or some sort of exercise plan, you actually start focusing on what are the words that I'm speaking over myself and over others in my situation? How would you change? I would love to hear if you do this, and I would love to hear how it goes for you because you're amazing. You're an overcomer. You're strong. You take good care of yourself. Here are some good words and affirmation to leave you with. Today I respect the signals that my body provides to me. I trust the wisdom of my body, soul, and spirit. I work with my body instead of against it. I also listen to my spirit and I feed my spirit. I focus on my mind and I train my body. My ability to focus grows greater each day. Laughter releases stress. Laughter draws me closer to others. So I welcome laughter into my life every day. Ha ha ha. All right, my friends, I thank you for listening and tuning in. I bless you and have a wonderful season and holiday season and new year.